I told you that was gonna be the music intro for these Q&As from now on. I don't know, I just like that song a lot and you get used to that. The more you play that stupid game, people are gonna think that I'm advertising the fucking remaster, but no I'm not. I just like the game. I just like that song so much that I think it's a good intro for my Q&As. Hopefully with the remaster it won't be protected by copyright, and maybe Ace and Monolith Soft and Nintendo will let us use it, us YouTubers, because it's such a badass song. What's up everybody? How is Mexico life? The same life as in any other fucking country on the planet. Life goes on. What's up Morbid? Alex Tokash, Ilias, Praetor, Eka, Foxhound, David Dunsk, the usual suspects. It's great, isn't it? It's a great song, isn't it? How can you not like it? What's up, everybody? Do you like X more than 2 and 3? No. Well, I like X more than 2, but I do not like it more than 3. Or maybe I do, I don't know. Eventually I'm gonna do a video called the Xeno series from worst to best. The Xeno series meaning all of them. Xeno Saga, Xenogears included. All Xenoblade games included. I've been wanting to do that video for a long time, and Xenoblade Chronicles X was the only game missing from the equation. And now that I've played it several weeks ago, I am finally ready to make that video. But I'm not going to make that video until the remaster comes out, because if I make it right now, it's going to be pointless. That's what happened with the top 5 RPG reviews that I did recently. I think one of the reasons why that video failed was because maybe people were like, why are you reviewing a game that's coming out in like 2-3 months, right? So, okay, lesson learned. I thought opposite, I thought the opposite will happen, like the video will be successful precisely because of that, but no. People are like, I don't want to watch your stupid review, Eric. Fuck you and your stupid ass review. Why are you making this review before the game comes out? You should make the review after the game comes out, asshole. You fucking loser. That's what people probably... Have you played Tales of Innocence R, Sir Eric? Ooh. I didn't see it in your PSP Vita JRPGs ranked. In the tier list, I only included games that came out of Japan. I always do my tier lists based on North American releases, not on... I never include Japanese exclusives. That's a Japanese exclusive. And I have played a little bit of it, but it's in the backlog. In fact, I'm gonna have to restart it and maybe stream it, I played the original on the Nintendo DS a long time ago, because it's been fan-translated since forever. That one on the PS Vita got a translation recently, I think it was like a couple of years ago. But the Nintendo DS original version has been translated since forever. And I'll be honest, I ditched the game I was probably about 70% into the game. 15 to 20 hours in, and I ditched it because I got so mad at a dungeon, I got lost, and I didn't know where to go, and there were random encounters, and I couldn't get out, and I couldn't make progress, and I was like, fuck this game. Tales of Innocence is still a good game, and I do recommend it, but honestly, it's one of the worst Tales games that I've ever played. The Nintendo DS version. So maybe the remake on the PS Vita will change my mind. From what little I played, it feels and plays and looks much better, So, I don't know, we'll see. But I have still yet to complete the PS Vita remake, So, that's why you didn't see it, and that's why you've probably never seen me talking about it. I've covered that game maybe once or twice in my life, but never in the form of a proper review. I did a video called the 10 best fan-translated JRPGs about 2 months ago, and Tales of Innocence was number 10, but most of what I said in the video was based on the original Nintendo DS version, not on the remake. But I did talk about the remake because I have played it before, just not for that much. Are you looking forward to Okami 2? I still have the first one on the PlayStation 2. I don't even have the remaster. I have played the remaster at a friend's house, and it's fucking great. You know, but I have the original on PS2, and I haven't even gotten around that. So, hello, VitaMax. You ever wonder why rich gamers never hold small-scale tournaments to revitalize dead servers? I have no idea what you're trying to ask. I'm sorry, sir. Maybe I'm not a rich gamer enough to understand that question. No, seriously, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. Hey, JP. Oh, the Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes. Yeah, and this morning, you know what happened? Copyright claim! And YouTube gave me the option to... Usually, nowadays, it gives you the option to just remove the song. But no, for this particular stream, I had to remove like an entire minute where the song Peaceful Days plays of Chrono Trigger. Only that song. I told you this before, that most of the soundtrack of Chrono Trigger seems to be fine, we can use it, but there are some songs that you cannot use. They have claims, just some of them. Same with Final Fantasy IX. About half of the soundtrack you can use it no problem, but the other half is like, copyright claim. Why? Why some songs and not the entire soundtrack? Well, okay. I got away with the rest of the stream. So this morning I woke up and cut that 1 minute. So if anybody plans to see my Crimson Echoes stream from yesterday, there's gonna be that 1 minute that's gonna like disappear. You're gonna see like something cut. Courtesy of Yasunori Mitsuda and Square fucking Enix. Oh, so you want to do a God Eater tournament, offering $500, $1,000 prize to the teams with the best times posted online. Oh, interesting. I have no idea. I've never been into that. I'm extremely fucking ignorant in those topics, man. Tournaments and gambling and I don't fucking know, man. So I don't know. Hey, Aristos. My day is going fine. Thanks. Hope your day is doing great. You want to know my first impressions of the Switch 2? Well, I have a channel in Spanish called Discusión Gamer. I uploaded a video a couple of days ago. Actually, yesterday morning. No, it was a couple of days ago. Well, maybe by the time you see this clip, it's gonna be there for like an entire week or maybe more. I don't know. The point is that if you know Spanish, my full impressions of the Switch is there. But if you want them in English... where to begin? First and foremost, I'm glad it's called the Switch 2. Because it totally looks like a Nintendo Switch 2. It's like when the Nintendo DS, and then there was a Nintendo DS and then the Nintendo 3DS. It's like the same name, it's just a 3 making the difference because it's the same console, almost the same hardware, it's a bit different actually. But it now plays games in 3D, right? So, but they look almost exactly the same. You look them from afar and they look identical, almost identical, right? So, it would have been stupid to call the new console something else when it's clearly an upgrade of the Nintendo Switch. And we talked about this before, and we knew it was going to happen. We were like, you know, the Nintendo Switch is now officially one of Nintendo's best-selling consoles of all time. It's number 2 in history. You know, it's almost reaching the PlayStation 2, which has been number 1 since it came out. So it's insane that the Switch sold so much that it practically made Nintendo billionaires. I mean, they were kind of already, but now they're billionaires, maybe. So obviously they knew they had to do something not so different. They couldn't just move on to a different console because they haven't seen that in a while. The Nintendo 3DS sold a lot, sure, but not enough, you know, not as much as the Switch. And the Nintendo Wii U was a failure. So they knew they had something special, and they were like, we're not going to let go of this. We need to do the same, but better. And that's what they did with the Switch 2. So it makes sense to call it Switch 2. Like I was hoping, like most of you, to call it the Super Switch or a Nintendo NX, something like that. Thankfully, it's not the Nintendo 360 or Series X or some bullshit like that. Thank you, Nintendo, for not being Microsoft level of stupid. So Switch 2 makes sense. So okay, I'm fine with the name because it's the same console. But then on the other hand, you know, it's the same console. It's just gonna be a little bit bigger. With I can almost guarantee it's gonna be 1080p. 60 frames per second though, I think that's gonna be up to the games. Some games, I'm fucking sure, you know, they're not gonna run at a stable 60 fraps. No, sir, you know, but others will. I'm pretty sure some will. So finally, at long last, Nintendo is making the jump from 720p to 1080p. It's not gonna be 4K because 4K doesn't really exist. 2K though, okay, maybe the PS5 can do 2K. Not Nintendo, because they're so fucking lazy. They don't give a shit, man. Nintendo Switch. 720p, 30 frames per second. And it sold way more than PS4 and Xbox One. And now it sold more than PS5 and Xbox Series X. At shitty fucking 720p. 30 frames per second. They don't give a shit. They know they don't need it. They don't need to have the best quality or the best technology. They need to continue being mediocre because apparently people like that, mediocrity in terms of graphics. So they know that. So that's what's gonna happen with this new system. I like, well, for the controller, I have mixed feelings. On one hand, it's the fucking dog bone again. It's like everybody complain about that. Nobody likes the dog bone. Nobody likes the fucking dog bone. And they knew that. And lo and behold, the dog bone is back because you hate it so much. But on the other hand, you know, the dog bone finally looks like the joysticks are similar to the Pro controller on the Switch. The Switch Pro controller, or at least the PS Vita, you know, so they look great. The D-pad finally looks like a normal D-pad and not some fucking separate buttons on the dog bone that suck balls, you know, so it looks fine. And they also have this new feature, these Joy-Cons, you know, with like, apparently they're gonna be used some kind of mouse, you know, they can like do this. Like, I don't know much about that, but that's a thing apparently. So yeah, on one hand, well, we know that, I don't know, maybe in a few months, they're gonna sell people the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, because that's a strategy to sell more trinkets to you. So okay, fine, great. What else? So apparently there's gonna be a new Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 was the best-selling game on the Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a fantastic game. That is the best Mario Kart I ever made. It is. Maybe 9 is going to surpass it. We'll see. You know, good news. And that's it. What else can I say? That's the Switch 2, people. Am I excited for it? No, I've never been excited for a new console. You know, I don't really care. I never get or buy consoles on day one. Never done that before, and I have no plans of ever changing that. It took me years to get the Switch. It took me years to get the PS4. It took me years to get the PS5 and all of my consoles. It took me years to get them. So if you guys are excited for a Switch 2, good for you. I couldn't care less. The end. That's my opinion on the Switch 2. Have you played the best football game, Nintendo World Cup on NES? I don't think I have. Are you gonna play Grace's Remaster when it comes out? It's already out. Wasn't it out this year? This week? I don't fucking know, man. No, I'm not gonna play it. Goodbye, TikTok. Really? You think TikTok is going away? Did you ever watch the Chicano movie Blood in Blood from 1993? No, I did not. I don't even know what a Chicano thing is. What's a Chicano? Puerto Rican? The YouTube chat is gone in the Chrono Trigger fan stream. Really? I'll check it. I'll check later, you know. I don't know why it's gone. There's no reason for it to be gone. I don't know why. This is too loud. Let me know when the music is too loud, people. Oh yeah, another thing about the Switch 2 is that we already knew it was going to be retro compatible, but apparently it's not gonna be retro compatible for every single game. There will be games, maybe, that won't play on the Switch 2. That sucks. But PlayStation did the same, Xbox did the same, you know. Like, I get the feeling like 90% of the library is gonna be retro compatible. So great. Yeah, remember that, Benito? We just talked about that. No, I did not play the Rise Eterna. It's not a sequel, it's some kind of spin-off. And I've seen some gameplay footage of it, and I watched a review by my friend Katana. And I was like, I'm not buying this. This is trash. This is not what we want. So hopefully the developers will release an actual sequel to the awesome game that we got some years ago. A direct sequel, because that game left in a cliffhanger. It didn't end. It was like, oh yeah, okay, we're ready to do this. I'm not gonna tell you what to avoid spoilers, but and the game ends. Okay, so it's volume 1. We're gonna get volume 2 at some point. But it's been like what, like 2-3 fucking years? And instead they do a spin-off? I don't know what goes on some developers' minds, man. It's like, okay, great, maybe they want to turn Rise Eterna into a franchise. What the hell do I know? But the spin-off plays, I mean, looks bad. I'm not interested on it, but I have no opinion of it because I haven't played it. Do you think we will have patches for Switch games to make run better on Switch 2? We talked about that in Discussion Gamer, and we don't know. Oscar says that these guys are so fucking lazy that they probably won't do that, which means he thinks most games won't have a patch or an upgrade, you know, but we'll see. We never know. Hopefully they will, because there's a lot of people that expect that. And I think a lot of people, maybe not enough people, but I think a lot of people won't buy the Switch 2 if it doesn't have the upscaling graphics, you know, the upgrade. Like the PlayStation 5 did with the PS4. Like you put a game of PS4 and PS5 and it lets you do an upgrade. You know, I think Nintendo should do that. Or maybe, you know, if you put any fucking game, the least it can do is run it at 1080p. It's probably not gonna be 60 frames because that's a different thing, you know. But the resolution, I think it's gonna be there. Like if you want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on your Switch 2, the Switch original Xenoblade Chronicles, you know, it's probably gonna look at 1080p. That I can almost guarantee, but 60 frames, I don't think so. Nintendo, those guys are so damn lazy, man. They don't give a shit. And the price, I have no idea. They said nothing about the price. Apparently they're gonna wait until the Nintendo Direct, which is in April. I don't know why they're gonna wait that long to announce the price. It's probably gonna be... There were rumors that it was going to be $400. So maybe it's gonna be $400. But that's gonna be in the US. For a lot of people, like in Mexico or in other countries, it's gonna be $400 plus taxes, plus import fees, plus it's gonna be like $500 or more. Chicanos are the Mexicans in the US, like California. They should get the fuck out of that fucking place. Horrible state. Thank you, the Whirly Durly. Do you think it's too early for Nintendo to release the Switch 2? No. It's been 8 years, almost 8 years. 8 years since the Switch. So it makes sense, you know. Nintendo isn't like PlayStation or Xbox. Those guys usually wait like a little bit more. Maybe not that much, you know. The PS4 came out in 2012, I think. Or was it 2023? No, 2013. PS4 came out in 2013. And exactly 7 years later, the PS5 was out. So it makes sense. 7 years, you know, it makes sense. It's not gonna be $300, man. It's at the very least gonna be $400. Yeah, it feels more of the same. Good story, Luis. Great. So when you get your Switch 2, like in 10 years, okay, keep your original Switch for the games not backwards compatible. That's what I will do, okay. Can I make a stream request Guardian Heroes on Sega Saturn? Vitamax! Apparently, I know for a fact you don't like Twitch, you don't like to see me watch, you don't like to see me stream on Twitch, but I streamed Guardian Heroes on Twitch. And you can find the stream on my second channel here on YouTube right now. I uploaded the stream a couple of days ago. You want to play Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle on Switch 2 on 60 frames per second? Hopefully your wish will come true. I guess it's gonna be $400 and $500, you know. Probably. Great story, Louise. No one cares. Great, good for you. You have a new dog. Great. Nintendo censorship policy is still there with this console. Why am I not surprised? Supposedly the Switch 2 will use DLSS for upscaling and that should help with frame rates. You think so? First and foremost, I don't know what DLSS is, but if that's gonna help with frame rates, I guess it's a good thing, right? So yeah, it's gonna be that much as a Switch 2 in Latin American countries. Oh yeah, I know about that. Level 5 did the same. Harassment policy. We were talking about Level 5 yesterday and I said that I didn't give a shit about the company anymore because they came up with the same policy, harassment policy. Square Enix did the same, yeah. It isn't recent though, that's a month old, that was like last year. So, yeah, we knew they were gonna do something like that. Some of these companies will still embrace wokeness and DEI, you know. It doesn't matter what happens in the US, they won't give a shit. Sorry, Vitamax. But yeah, you can find the stream on my second channel. Don't worry. If you don't want to watch me on Twitch, it's fine. You can watch the replays on my second channel on YouTube. Link to my second channel in the description. That's where I upload some of the clips from these Q&As and some of my streams from Twitch. So there you go. You can watch Guardian Heroes in there. If Microsoft discontinue the Xbox, what should replace it? Or are gamers satisfied with PlayStation, Nintendo, and the PC? Probably. I think if Microsoft stopped making consoles, no one in this world will give a shit. People will just migrate to PC. Most Xbox fans will probably migrate to PC. Or stick to PC, you know? Some will probably move on to PlayStation or Nintendo, you know? And I mean the people who are like very Microsoft or very Xbox oriented. The ones that like, oh my god, I do not touch ever a PlayStation or a Nintendo. To hell with those companies, I'm an Xbox guy / PC guy and that's what I do. So if Xbox disappears, Microsoft is not gonna disappear. So if Xbox disappears, the brand, yeah, Microsoft is just gonna stick to PC. In fact, if I'm being completely honest, the Xbox Series X was super unnecessary, was completely unnecessary. Xbox should have died after the Xbox One came out. No one needs it. I mean, the PC can run every single Xbox game, so what's the point? Microsoft should just stick to PC gaming. That's it. No need to continue the Xbox brand. It's just dumb. But anyway, they want to compete in the console market, you know, to have a console that they can sell to people and plug to your TV, all for the sake of making more money and making people spend more. Like, I'm gonna get a good PC and an Xbox, because that makes a lot of sense. It's fucking great. You're relying on Switch 2 to take some of the retro collectors away? Hoping retro prices will drop for a minute. You mean the Switch prices? Because I know, yeah, we know Switch is expensive. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's an interesting comment because we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. How the Switch 2 games and prices will affect the Switch 1 prices in the market. I don't know if they're gonna drop or not. I don't think they're gonna drop. Number one, because it's Nintendo. Nintendo games very rarely go down in price, man, on any console. And number two, probably because the Switch 2 will be retro compatible. So people will still, a lot of people, at least during the first several years of the Switch 2 lifespan, a lot of people are still going to buy Switch 1 games. So because they can play them now on the Switch 2, right? They're probably going to get rid of their Switch. The Switch, the console, that's going to drop in price a lot. That's going to be, in a year or two, it's going to be like a $200 console or less. I can guarantee you that. But the games, I don't think so. I think the games will retain their price. But hopefully, as you say, that's going to make the prices go down, because I personally would like to increase my Switch collection a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure a lot of big gamers and collectors feel the same way. So hopefully, but I don't think so. So, is Atlus as woke as Square Enix? Yeah, kind of on the same level, but it's more Atlus of America. But yeah, I'd say they are. I don't know. Why did you... I just answered the question, Luis. Too late. I answered the question. You didn't have to retract your message. Do you miss huge generational leaps in graphics like with PS1 and PS2? Kinda, yeah. When the PlayStation 5 got out and I played it for the first time, I was like, well, there's barely any difference in graphics and everything, you know. There was barely any difference whatsoever. It was just the same. For me, I mean, you gotta be... Back then I didn't know that much about graphics. Nowadays I do, and I can tell the difference between a PS4 game and a PS5 game. Okay, now I know the difference, and I can differentiate it, I can notice it, you know? But back when I first played the PS5, which was like 4 years ago, I was like, I wasn't impressed, to be honest. I was like, this is the same fucking thing. You know, it's not like PS1. You play a PS1 game and then you play a PS2 game, and in like 9 out of 10 cases, the graphic difference is like huge. You know, and same with PS2 and PS3. And same with PS3 and PS4. Not that much. That's when it started to blur a little bit. The difference between PS3 and PS4 wasn't all that noticeable, you know? But it was noticeable, even for the average gamer. And now, between PS4 and PS5, or Xbox One, Xbox Series X, you know, or Wii U and Nintendo Switch, is like barely noticeable, to be honest, you know? So yeah, I kind of miss that. I wish... But then, you know, I think video games are, especially AAA games, never mind the glitches and the bugs and the problems some of them are released with. Visually speaking, you know, they're pretty advanced nowadays, I feel. So it's just taking companies longer to get there. You know, they release a console and the graphics look the same, but a few years go by and then that one 2023 PS5 game looks better than that one, much better than that one 2015 PS4 game. I mean, the difference is huge, you know. I don't know, a random example, play Infinite Wealth and play Yakuza 0, you know, and while the difference isn't that huge or great when it comes to in-game graphics, when it comes to like the CGI cutscenes, you know, or like the regular cutscenes, you can tell that the difference is big. All companies are evil. That's true. Me neither, man. I also don't understand why people are so attached to a certain company. I have an acquaintance that I used to do business with. Reached out recently and told them, hey, you know, I'm selling some games in my collection that I don't want because, you know, I have their doubles, or I don't want to keep them in my collection. They're all games that I'm like, you know, I don't like this fucking game and I don't care about it and it's never gonna go up in price. So fuck it, you know. But he didn't want any of my games because he was now only buying and collecting for Nintendo consoles, specifically 3DS and Switch only. And I was like, why? But he made a good point. He said that most Nintendo games never go down in price, you know, and PlayStation games or Xbox games, they drop in price awfully low, you know, at some point. So that was a good point. But, you know, on the other hand, as a gamer, let alone a collector or a reseller, as a gamer, I mean, why stick to one company like we over the others? I don't understand. Me, you know, I play all consoles. I don't give a shit. I'm not a console racist. Which Xbox console made the best RPGs? The Xbox 360, of course. Some exclusives are still there. You could say the Xbox One. The Xbox One has way more JRPGs than the 360, you know, but not a single exclusive. I'm not interested in the Steam Deck, Eka. Not anymore. I have this console. I have this laptop, you know, so I'm good with that. Good with that. What's the best advice you can give in becoming an author or writer? You're asking the wrong person, man. I feel like nowadays my writing career is a failure, and like I don't think I'm the right person to be asking that question. Maybe you should ask that question to a successful author, independent or not. Switch games retain their prices? Exactly. Do you... Wow, I'm so behind on some of your comments and questions. Sorry about that, guys. Do you still play Thousand Arms? No, it's in the backlog for now. I'm still playing Skies of Arcadia and... well, I'm alternating between Skies of Arcadia and Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story every now and then. You know, but I'm mostly focusing on Skies of Arcadia. I'm like... What, like 18 hours into it? Was it 18 or 20? I don't know. I was playing this morning. I have made it past the desert island. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe PS4 to PS5 had more 60 frames games over 30. Yes, that's not an opinion. That's a fact. Sleepy gamer, that is a fact. What's the RPG lore you felt more immersed in? Suikoden. We talked about this before, and I actually made a clip of that for this channel. I usually upload the Q&A clips on my second channel, but there's always the occasional clip that I found very interesting and interesting enough to upload on this channel, and we talked about that. So yeah, Suikoden is my answer. We reached the point where seeking better graphics will only offer diminishing returns. AAA games are way too expensive to make. The market can't afford it. I agree with that. And that's why Nintendo doesn't give a shit about 2K or 4K. They care more about the quality of the gameplay, not the graphics, you know? And voila, the Switch sold 140 something million consoles worldwide. In your face, PlayStation. Now that the 10th generation is looming in, what are your overall thoughts on this 9th generation? I feel like you've asked that question 2 or 3 times before already. Which Xbox console? Again, I already answered that. I see some of you guys are just repeating your questions. I already answered them. So. How much do you make from your books? I don't know, man, like $5 a month? Maybe 10 if I'm lucky? There was this one occasion where I made 20, you know? I was like, oh, I made $20 in a whole month of my books. Yeah, that was a celebration. I bought a hamburger, a really expensive one. I make no money from my books, man. No one cares. Have you tried emulating PlayStation 3 games on your computer? Not yet. Have you played World of Warcraft? I did a long time ago and I couldn't get into it. And there's a big video that I did called Why I Don't Play MMORPGs. That's a really old video, but what I said in that video holds up today, so watch that video. They're just dangerous for me. If you're too lazy to watch the whole video, because I think it's like 15 minutes long, they're just very dangerous for me, you know? They're too addictive, so I gave up on MMORPGs ages ago, you know? Do you think Eiyuden is worth playing with a translation mod? Very, yeah. I think Eiyuden is still very worth playing with the shitty translation, because you at least know it wasn't the intention of the developers to have that politicized dialogue, you know? So it's like, okay, this is just 505 games, go fuck yourselves, but the game's still worth playing, you know? Just in your head, you know, you're gonna be like, okay, it's not that much. It's not Trails Through Daybreak. That's not worth playing at all, man. But Eiyuden Chronicle, it's just some fucking stupid comments, man. It's not really, they're not trying to make a point. thankfully. So it's different. Like, Eiyuden Chronicle got a lot of shit because it was a like super anticipated game, like a big deal. You know, the Suikoden spiritual successor, 4 years, 4.5 million US dollars in Kickstarter. Whereas Trails Through Daybreak, it was just another Trails game. Nobody cared, you know. But the translation in Daybreak is like far, far, far worse than the one in the Eiyuden Chronicle. Why is there so much hate to Cold Steel 4? I have no idea. How many books have you authored? 10. 10 books. 10 books so far. Most of them can be found in English. You will find a link to all of my books in the description right here, right now. You will find my books, all of them in Amazon. Digital for $3 each. Or you can have the printed version, a physical version of them. For, depending on the book, they go from like $6 to $13 price, you know. So it's been 10 books, but not all 10 are available because some of them are in Spanish, you know, and I still need to translate them. But every single book available in English that I have written is there on Amazon. Link to the description, guys. Support your writers. We can't have literature die. Do you think AAA games will ever not be woke again? Yeah, I want to believe that. I mean, dude, we got Black Myth Wukong last year. We got Stellar Blade. Those games were basically anti-woke games, and they were AAA. So if we already got some games like that, yeah, I can guarantee you there's going to be more now. Look what happened with Lords of the Fallen. I don't know if you guys knew this or found out about this, but the director of the Lords of the Fallen franchise made a poll in which he asked gamers, I think this was on Twitter, X, he asked, would you like to see Type A or Type B, or male or female? And thousands of people replied and voted on the poll, and he got like an 89% male-female, and only like a 9% Type A or Type B, which I'm assuming most of the people who voted for that option were bots. I can guarantee you that, you know. So, and he said, okay. He closed the poll and he said, so we shall have male or female. Now, and then I saw a lot of people calling this guy based. Oh, I respect. Not really, you know, because the poll wasn't necessary. He shouldn't have made the poll. He should just stick to male or female and fuck Type A or Type B bullshit. Fuck that. There was no need for a poll, you know, but he still did the poll. I don't know why. I don't understand why a poll was necessary, you know. I don't have a lot of respect for that, you know. Just don't make the poll. Just make the game the way you want it to, you know, with male and female, and that's it. You know, why can't you fucking do that? Why you don't need a poll? So that's what I believe, you know, but that's just my opinion. But going back to the point, this proves that yes, there will be more and more games later on without wokeness, without agendas, without DEI. But I don't know how much. Maybe this new upcoming game by this company, it will have male and female, and that's it. Maybe the game will still have these agendas, you know, just not Type A or Type B. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I have hopes, especially, you know, AAA studios from the US. Now that, you know, there's a new administration going to happen, some of these studios that were basically forced to include DEI or shit like that, without embracing it personally, they're going to be happy. They're going to be like, oh, so we won't have to do this anymore. So maybe we can finally give the middle finger to Sweet Baby and those motherfuckers, you know? We can make the game we want, you know? But I'm pretty sure other companies are going to be like, fuck you, Trump. No, I'm still going to include wokeness in my game. Okay, then do it. No one's going to care. Maybe just the 0.09% of people on planet Earth will buy your game. But the rest will not, you know? So up to them. But yeah, to answer your question, you know, yes, I think it's the opposite. I think we will start seeing more AAA games with no DEI. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna take years, but I don't know how many. But there will be. I'm a little bit hopeful. Not that much, but hopeful nonetheless. But I'm more interested, to be honest, in the AA industry. Like, I don't give a shit about the AAA industry. I very, very extremely rarely play AAA games. I'm more interested in like AA games or indies. So I'm a little bit more worried about that. I'm not that hopeful for AA or small studios. But I still want to believe that a lot of AA games and indie games won't have any DEI or inclusive bullshit, and we'll see. I mean, throughout the last few years, there's been a lot of AA games and a lot of indie games without any of that, and I like to believe we're gonna get more. Maybe some AA studios will finally enter reason or will finally do something about it. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know, but let's cross our fingers. You should do a Game of Thrones of your book for your books to spike. Sure. I'm not a fan of that, man. Never gave a shit about Game of Thrones before. I'm not gonna start now. Have you made a video about the Daybreak localization? Yeah, I made a couple of clips on my second channel. I kind of wanted to do one for my main channel, but that was when I gave up. Because every time I attack DEI or localizations or stuff like that on my main channel, YouTube destroys the video. And it makes sure I pay the price for it, It doesn't do that to other YouTube channels, just to me and others, I know other YouTubers that suffer the same. Like, whenever they speak against wokeness, the views drop a lot, subscribers drop a lot, revenue, it punishes you. They punish me. But they're fine with all of us other anti-woke channels that all they do is speak against DEI and wokeness. That's fine. Those can exist and be successful. But guys like me, no. So I didn't see the point, man. Have you ever played Sonic Battle for Game Boy Advance? It's a fighting game with some action RPG elements. No, I've never played that. Sounds interesting, but since I'm not really a fan of Sonic, I doubt I'll remember to play it. You too, Michael P. Are you worried about the dialogue in the remake of Trails in the Sky? Yeah, I've made videos about that on my second channel. Whatever took 3 to 5 years to make and it's leftovers, and they'll probably minimize that. What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his true intentions were when making the poll. Thank you, Brian, for becoming a member, for resubbing. I should say thanks for the sub. Yeah, the director of Dragon Age Veilguard was fired from the company. Did you guys know that? You guys know that? Some of the team that worked on Dragon Age and the director, they left the company. They got fired. Fuck those guys. Destroying Dragon Age. I don't know those games, man. Wuchang, Lost Soul Aside. I think I saw some screenshots of Lost Soul Aside. It looks like a Souls game with Final Fantasy Tetsuya Nomura level of character design. I was like, hard pass. Ooh, that's a Pandora's box right there, man. What's the difference between a AA and an indie? Is a AA developed and marketed in a similar environment to AAA? Well, that's not really a Pandora's box. I thought you were asking AAA and AA. The difference between AAA and AA is just less money. The end. And the same difference between a AA studio and an indie studio, way less money. But also, AA studios have already a publisher, an established publisher, like NIS America, for example. Like Falcom is a AA studio. They aren't rich enough to take their games to compete with AAA level of graphics and stuff like that. So they Falcom games always look like a generation before, You play Trails into Reverie and it looks like a PlayStation, like an early PS4 game, even on PS5. So that's the difference. So between a double A studio and an indie, it's basically the same difference, you know. It's just the indie game was done independently. Whether these guys, whether the studio found a famous publisher or not for their game, it was still created independently. And AA studios have the financial backing of sometimes their publishers. And even if they don't, they've already made enough money from their previous sales from the already established publisher worldwide to create games, you know? So that's the difference. Hope I didn't confuse you that much. I don't have anything prepared, Eka. Versus episode? You guys want the versus episodes to come back? Let me know. On the contrary, Tyson, I don't think they're going to remove that. They will probably emphasize that. I don't know what Gung Ho is going to be the publisher here in North America for the Trails in the Sky remake. I don't know what they're going to do with the translation. Apparently they're going to use the translation that Exit Games did years ago. So I doubt they'll change that. I don't know what they're going to do. What pisses me off the most is that when they released the trailer, there was this fucking douchebag in the comments, and I was like, I don't even know why I bothered reading the comments. Probably because I noticed that Gung Ho, the fucking publisher itself, was liking some of the comments, and I was like, well, that's unusual. You know, a publisher doing that on a YouTube comment section? That was weird. And there was this fucking loser, man. Thank you, Yum Yum. This fucking loser, man. Saying, oh, great news! Estelle Bright is the cure for depression and anti-socialism. And the comment had a lot of likes. And I didn't see anybody, you know, countering this guy. Like telling, dude, what the fuck? Since when has Estelle Bright been in favor of socialism? What a fucking retarded... Those are the fucking inflammatory comments, you know, bots leave to make people divide. Why will someone say that? And you know what Gung Ho did? I don't know if they were laughing, the company was laughing at that comment or other replies that the comment got, you know. But it just made me uncomfortable, I guess, for attention. I don't know, if it was a human being, obviously it did it for the sake of attention. But if it was like a bot, they did it for obvious reasons. Bots have been doing this in social media for years now. Leaving comments like that to divide people, to make people fight, you know, and argue and stuff like that. So, I mean, why would you play that? I mean, why would you say that? Why would you say something like that? Oh, yeah, this upcoming game is the cure for anti-socialism. If this individual is a human being, I hope he gets kidnapped by a Chinese gang and left alone in China, in a communist fucking country, in a socialist country, and see if within 6 months this person thinks the same, that socialism is good. Fucking trash, ignorant assholes, man. Since when has Estelle Bright? I mean, what a fucking loser. So going back to the Gung Ho situation, is that I don't know what they're gonna do with the translation. I mean, I'm a bit worried, you know, but since I gave up on the modern video game industry, Gung Ho didn't alter anything for the Grandia remasters, and I doubt they will alter anything from the Lunar remasters, right? But those are just remasters. A remake is something different. It's a game done from scratch. Like Falcom redid the entire game from zero, you know? So I don't know what Falcom's gonna do with some scenes, you know, or some dialogue, let alone Gung Ho. I don't know what's gonna happen, but Gung Ho shouldn't be liking comments or replying to comments like that in their trailers. They shouldn't fucking do that. Is translation word for word is important for you or the overall story of a game? What are you trying to ask, Yum Yum? Are you trying to ask me if I think a faithful translation is better? Because I think you already know the answer. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know how many of you guys have read my books in English, especially the ones that have been translated, that I translated myself from Spanish to English. But obviously, since I'm the one translating them, I'm being extremely faithful to my original material that I wrote years ago in Spanish, right? But all I want to say is that maybe that's a reason why some scenes or some dialogue are a bit confusing, or maybe you won't understand the joke, or you won't understand the situation, because I try to be as faithful as I could without like Americanizing the book. You know, I'm not that kind of person. I fucking hate that. I'd rather get a confusing piece of dialogue than an Americanized, dialogue, So if that's what you're trying to ask me, Yum Yum, then the answer is yes. I mean, I prefer a faithful translation, even if it makes no sense, Well, it depends. The overall story will not change, even if some translated words were changed, right? Depends on the words. For example, we have, especially slangs. Slangs are almost 100% exclusive to each country. When I wrote some of take Nick's Inferno for example. I wrote Nick's Inferno in Spanish, and I remember some of the jokes or sentences that Lucius does, for example. They're basically Mexican insults. Not just Spanish insults, Mexican insults. Even someone from Venezuela or any other country in Latin America will read that sentence and say, what does it mean? That's a Mexican insult. It's very particular. So of course, when I translated that to English, I tried my hardest, to come up with something that everybody will understand. With an insult that everybody will understand. But it's the same context. I did not change the context. So, but yeah, some words do need to be changed, but not for political reasons or cultural reasons, but for grammar reasons. Like that word doesn't exist in English, and there's no equivalent of it. So what do you have to change it no matter what, because if you leave it like that, there's no translation for that word. You know what I mean? So that's my answer, man. So it's just some words, can be changed, but preferably I try to be as faithful as I can. I think every single fucking publisher and localization team should be the same. I don't know. Have you played Frontier Hunter? Frontier Hunter, that's an indie action RPG, Metroidvania, that I've praised numerous times last year. Great fucking game. It makes fun of gender politics, thankfully. But what I wanted to say is that that's a game that the studio translated themselves, and it shows there are some grammar issues, but there's also some sentences and jokes that don't make a lot of sense. I was like, is she trying to be funny? But I would rather have that than a fucking Americanized joke, especially nowadays. It will have to be altered. But you can tell they translated the games themselves because they made fun of gender politics. It was like this. I've told this story before, so yeah. Stuff like that. It's always better to translate the game yourself, It's more faithful, it's pure, it's trying to stick as much as it can to the original script in the original net language, But yeah, you do get some things that don't make sense or to you from this country, or you won't understand if you live in this other country, But I think you should be more tolerant to that, in exchange for getting a faithful translation. What do you think? Will Nintendo release Xenosaga Remake in Switch 2? That's not up to Nintendo, Tier, and thanks for the super chat, by the way. That's up to Monolith Soft. And that's also up to Namco. Namco owns the rights. Actually, it's not even up to Monolith Soft. That's Namco. Namco has the rights to the Xenosaga trilogy. So it's up to Bandai Namco. And they already said that apparently no one's interested. According to them. But you bet your ass if those... I don't want a Xenosaga remake. Because Namco is a DEI company nowadays, and the Xenosaga trilogy has a lot of religious philosophical and political themes. So what do you think a company like Namco is gonna do with a Xenosaga remake? They're gonna fucking destroy it. With fucking left-wing politics, man. So fuck them. No, I don't want a remake. The only thing we want is a re-release. Just put them digital on the PlayStation Store. That's it. That's all we need. We don't need you to change anything or to remaster them. Fuck you, Namco. There's rumors that BioWare might shut down around February. I hope those rumors are true. And they learn their lesson that nobody wants to be... What's the name? What's the word in English? For when someone's trying to preach? You know, like a sermon? I forgot about the word. Let Working Designs translate my books? Sure. No. What are your thoughts on the Tencent being blacklisted by the US government? I don't know what the fuck that is, man. What will you translate aquas to? Water? I guess? What's aquas? Aquas is water, right? Exactly, Brian. That's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do to fight against stupidity and alter like that. You learned Mexican insults from Blood In, Blood Out? Oh, cool. That's interesting. Pandering. Yeah, exactly. That's what Dragon Age Veilguard did, you know? No, it's not pandering. I know what pandering means. That's not pandering. It's like, let me just translate the word. What are we listening to? Voice of... Oh, the battle theme of Voice of Cards? Interesting. Didn't recognize the song. So... Oh, it's sermon. Yeah. Preaching. Yeah, I was right. Exactly, yeah. Preaching. Lecturing. That's right. So I hope BioWare shuts down and learn their lesson that nobody wants to be preached to or lectured. We want games to be games. I don't need a fucking lecture on diversity and fuck shit like that, you know. This is why I quit Tales of Rebirth. I mean, back then, Tales of Rebirth was a 2004 video game. It wasn't the intention. They weren't preaching, but I felt like they were preaching on me. Like, oh, life has no color. All races are equal. And dude, in 2025, seriously? That? Go fuck yourself. I'm not playing that stupid game anymore. Proselytize. I don't know about that. That's a more advanced word. Well, it's just we got used to that over the past several years. And well, I'm Mexican, man. I don't understand. There's only one race here. Oh, well, we have a lot of Indians, but no one cares. An Indian girl. Anyway, enough about that topic. Oh, it's only a branch of BioWare. Oh, that sucks, man. I thought it was the entire company. You see, companies never lose. They just have Fall Guys. Forget about the game. I know there's a game called Fall Guys. But do you know what the actual term means? Fall Guy? They always do that. Oh, somebody's got to take the blame for that fiasco, that Dragon Age fiasco, so we're going to have to shut down this particular branch. But oh no, we're fine. You, go fuck yourself. You're going to lose your job, your pension, everything. But we're going to be fine. But sir, you were the ones who gave us the order to politicize the game. Yeah, sure, but you need a scapegoat. That's another term. Fall Guys, scapegoat. You know, just sure. You know, no, it's your fault, not mine. But sir, I was just following orders. That's your fault, man. You're fired. Just get out of here. Get out of my office. You know. That's the industry. Not just the video game industry. That's every single industry on the planet. Which video games have the best mythologies? Valkyrie Profile. That's right, Fantonium. Well, actually, you know, most of my books don't have Mexican slangs because they are inspired by anime or JRPGs, you know. And others are inspired by worldwide culture, so different things from different movies, for example, different books, so there's barely any Mexican slangs in my books, to be honest, in Spanish. Why? Because the characters don't live in Mexico. Simple as that. But there are some parts of Nick's Inferno that resemble Mexico, so I had to include certain things. That's right. That's right, Brian. Fired and stepped down are two different things, but functionally the same. Yeah, it's like when the guys from Nice America who used to send me review codes for years, and they sent me a special edition of Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2. 3 and 4 on PS5 and The Legend of Legacy, Those guys weren't fired, they stepped down from Nice America. Big difference. Yep, David Lynch has passed away. 78 years old, apparently he died of some kind of pulmonary emphysema or something. There hasn't been that much information. Family is in grieving right now, so they probably won't reveal that much. But it's sad that David Lynch died. It's not as sad as Yoshitaka Murayama dying at 63 or 65 years old. That's way too young. 78 is okay, not that old yet, but old enough to have lived a life. To, instead of feeling that sad, feeling proud, the guy accomplished so much, so many damn movies, I think guys like Akira Toriyama or Yoshitaka Murayama still had a lot of years of talent and, games, art, they could have done so much more. But David Lynch was practically retired already, and he had some projects he had going on, but now they have been left abandoned. We don't know if those projects are gonna be fulfilled at some point, but we'll see what happens. David Lynch is not gonna be there, so whoever finishes those projects is gonna twist them, probably. Hopefully that doesn't happen, and they try to stay true and close to David Lynch's vision, but we will never know. Rest in peace, David Lynch. For those who don't know, I was a huge fan. He's my favorite movie director of all time. He was a huge influence in some of my books. Nick's Inferno is probably a love letter to his movies. Then not the story, just the way it's told, in Nick's Inferno. Because if you read Nick's Inferno, you're gonna be like, how is this influenced by David Lynch? No, it's just the narrative, not the story. How the book is told. But anyway, that's beside the point. So rest in peace. He will be missed. A legend, an extremely influential and an incredibly important artist has passed away. David Lynch. My favorite movies, Inland Empire. It's kind of hard to watch and slow, but the more you watch it, the more you start noticing different things and scenes or shots that you didn't care about before. Now you care. Now they make sense. I don't know. Inland Empire is such a slow movie, and it's hard to watch, but it's fucking incredible, I think that's my favorite David Lynch movie. I have it on DVD. Also, Mulholland Drive. I know nowadays it's kind of it's got lesbians, but come on, it's Naomi Watts and Laura Herring, a Mexican actress, But beside that, that's an incredible fucking movie as well. Lost Highway, another masterpiece, Those three movies are by far my favorites. And then Eraserhead, I love David Lynch. He shall be missed. Yeah, I know Kentaro Miura died some years ago. Really, really young. Oh, 55 years old. Yoshitaka Murayama, 55. See what I mean? When someone like David Lynch dies, it's okay, he died at an old age. It's normal. We're all gonna die. If we don't die by some illness or something, we're all gonna die of old age. Something's gonna kill us, right? But 55, that's super fucking sad. That's a real tragedy, And I'm not saying David Lynch dying isn't a tragedy. Well, it's less of a tragedy because he's 78 years old. You can't compare 78 years old to 55. You just can't. My godfather died a year and a half ago of cancer, 65 years old. I was like, come on, man. Thanks for the tip, Mystery Kid. Have you watched all of Twin Peaks? Of course I watched. I watched everything David Lynch, except one movie that I can't find anywhere. It's called The Straight Story. I haven't seen that. But everything else I've watched it. His music videos with this singer, this incredibly hot singer. I forget her name. Everything from his YouTube channel. I used to watch, well, I didn't watch every single weather report video because that was fucking stupid after a while. You know, I'm glad he stopped. But I watched a bunch of those too. You know, I was a big fan. I was a diehard. I still am. Well, I still kind of do, Brian. I'm a guy. I see the issue of the chat crashing for us streamers hasn't gone anywhere. I wonder if they do it on purpose. I thought they were doing that on purpose, you know, until someone told me that other YouTubers complain about it too. It's okay, it's an error, I guess. But the fact that my chat crashes at least once on every Q&A, because they don't crash during the live streams, the regular video when I play games, you know. Only when I'm doing the Q&As they crash once. Sometimes twice. The chat crashes on me. Not on you guys, just on me. I wonder why. I've had family members over 100. Well, my grandmother, the only one left alive, she's going to turn 95 years old in 1 month. By the end of February. You know, she's gonna be 95. 9-5. Holy shit. And of course she's like she can't barely move, you know, she's way too old. She's been with an oxygen tank for years already, but it's fucking incredible how in here she seems fine. No Alzheimer, no senile bullshit. She perfectly knows who everyone is, what everything is. She hasn't forgotten anything. Incredible. My grandmother, incredible, man. TikTok was banned in the USA. That's not true. There are rumors that it's going to be banned, but it hasn't been banned yet, as far as I know. No one is, Foxhound. Only really fucking stupid people are fans of that. They think it works in Norway and Poland. Dude, those are really fucking small first world countries. YouTube doesn't like conservative. I'm not conservative. Maybe that's why they hate me so much. I don't like conservative. I don't like liberal. Maybe that's why. Maybe YouTube is like, no, you gotta side with one. No. But I like conservatives nowadays way more than liberals, you know, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm just not one of them. I have answered that question before, Jonathan Silva, just not today. I've had influence from the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, just the first 3 books. Because that Chronicles series went off the rails. She did a lot, like 7 books, and I was like, oh no, I'm fine with the first 3. You know, I'm happy with that. Thank you, Anne Rice. Rest in peace. She died some years ago. So that's an influence. You know, there's a little book called Only Forward. Who wrote the book? I have a Spanish. A lot of my books are in English, but some of my books are in Spanish, so I got the Spanish version. It's Michael Marshall Smith. That book, that's a sci-fi book, pretty much a dystopia book. That was a big influence, especially in Morgana Code. hasn't been translated to English, but you know. So yeah, there we go. Those are some books that influenced my writing. Also, The Winter of the Fisher. I mean, if you read my books, you're gonna be like, you read my books and you read The Winter of the Fisher, and it's like, what? There's, I can't, but it's just the writing style, the narrative, not the stories. I think my stories and characters are more influenced by my own real life, by my own experiences in life, or by JRPGs and anime, you know? It's just certain like styles of telling things or describing things, you know, that's where the influence of other authors come into play. But I believe that if you read The Reaper's Thorn, you're gonna see a lot of Vampire Chronicles influence in there. Even though there are no vampires in my book, you know. Thanks for asking and showing interest in my books. Did you play Fantasian? Nope. Which JRPGs have you played with the longest loading times? Ugh. Didn't we play Vagrant Story a week ago? I don't know. I'm not sure. Final Fantasy XII, the original PS2 game. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Some of the Suikoden games, honestly, they aren't that long, but some of the Suikoden games are like, come on, man. Well, it depends, you know. I will have to replay some of these games to answer that question properly with better examples, you know. Well, people are gonna do what's most convenient for them, you know. Asia. Yakuza can have some hefty loading times. Really? I play the PlayStation versions, PlayStation 4 versions. And Kiwami and Zero, not really. I mean, sure, there's some loading times, of course, you know, but they're not really. Final Fantasy 6 on PS1. So those Chrono Trigger on PS1, legendary. It's like it freezes, you know. You can counter the enemies and it freezes for like 3 or 5 seconds. And it's loading. It's bad. I don't care. That's the version I played and loved, you know. But yeah, Yokai Watch has the worst. The first one on the 3DS. I was playing some Yokai Watch music before. I think I picked a song for today's stream. Have you seen the prices of Yokai Watch 3? Go to pricecharting.com, type Yokai Watch 3. Oh! Well, the holy grail of JRPGs on the 3DS, Yokai Watch 3. Will you continue the Girl Lesson 6 playthrough now that you have a better PC? Isra, I beat that game like 3 months ago already, and I reviewed it. You will find a review of that game in a video called Top 10 Fan Translated JRPGs. And you will also find the exact same review in a compilation video that I did a few days ago called Obscure Hidden JRPG Gems Marathon. Oh, okay. I've only beaten Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth, and Judgment and Lost Judgment. Those are my 6 Yakuza games that I played. Beat Thousand Arms? Oh, you beat it? Or are you asking me to beat it? Maybe I will at some point, you know, but it's in the backlog. You're gonna have to wait. Yes, it will be finished, Phantonium. Why wouldn't it be? I don't really give a shit about that trilogy, but I can guarantee you it will be finished. What makes you think it won't? Okay, Narek, I can give you my opinion of Tales of Graces compared to other Tales games, but I can't talk about the remaster that came out recently. I haven't played it. I played the PS3 version, and it's a wonderful game. It's hard to appreciate because it's a bit slow. You start with the kids, and then they grow into like teenagers, and then they grow into like young adults. You know, by the end of the game, they're young adults. So that character progression type of storytelling isn't in any other Tales game, as far as I remember. You can see that in games like Dragon Quest V, you know, but there isn't a single Tales game with like huge time jumps like that, you know, like kids, teens, and then adults. No. So that's what makes Graces so special, you know, in the first place. But I said it was hard to appreciate because it's also like super difficult. It's the hardest Tales game I ever played. Very hard. If you thought, I don't know, Arise was difficult, no, it doesn't hold a candle to Graces. Such a fucking hardcore game, man. Yeah, but Tales of Berseria, it's like 3 years, man. Come on. It's not the same. So Graces is like super difficult. The battle system is really technical. They went nuts with that system. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But they wanted to create a battle system that was like more combo based than the others, but also more difficult to achieve, you know? So it's a great game. I think it's one of the best Tales games of all time. Believe it or not, I'm a die-hard fan of the game. I don't think it's in my top 5 though. I don't think so, but definitely in the top 10. It's a great game, great story, good, decent characters. Tales games are all like this. All the Tales games, most of them are like, half of the cast is kind of like okay, and the other half is great, you know? My favorite, of course, is Sophie. I love that character. I also like Asbel's brother, forgot his name, the guy with blue hair and glasses. He's an asshole. But he grows on you. You know, I like that guy. He's like a younger version of Jade from Tales of the Abyss. Herbert. Thanks, man. Hubert. I think it's Hubert, not Herbert. It's Hubert, right? Anyway, it's a great game. That does not mean I recommend the remaster because I haven't played it. But that means I strongly recommend the PS3 version. I ranked that game in my blog. I think I gave it an 8.6. Why Dual Hearts? Okay. So Dual Hearts is a spiritual successor to Alondra. Probably because it was a different company. I don't know. I forgot. I knew the reason why it's called Dual Hearts and not Alondra 3. You know, but I forgot. I don't remember. I think it's got something to do with... I don't remember. I'm not gonna confuse people anymore. I don't know. I forgot. But I knew. Favorite cast member on Vesperia? Of course, Yuri himself. And Judith. And Repeat. That should have been the whole party. And maybe Estelle, and that's it. A lot of people like Raven. And okay, I kinda do too. Okay, Raven is fine. Flynn is not. Fuck that guy. But he's only playable in the Definitive Edition. Or the PS3 original. Carol was kind of like, okay, he kind of grew on me, but then kind of didn't. I was like, you know. And who else is there? That's it, isn't it? Oh, Rita. I like Rita. Okay, Vesperia has an interesting cast of characters. I like most characters. Maybe that's why Vesperia is in my top 5. Vesperia is in my top 5, one of my 5 favorite Tales games. The Lolly Pirate? She's kind of annoying, to be honest. Asesteria? The Princess Aide. She's feisty. You mean Edna? I like Rose, you know. I liked Alicia. But I think Rose was a much better female protagonist. Edna, it's not Aetna. It's just Edna without the A, man. It's Edna. I like that character too, a lot. I also like the girl with the ponytail, Lila. I love her. But yeah, the problem with Cesteria is that Sorey was kind of like and Mikle was annoying as fuck. I was like, fuck that guy, please die. Please, this character fucking die or something, you know. I don't like Mikleo. And Sorey was like, he exists. Savid is annoying, I don't like him. I like Lila. I like Edna. I like Rose. So basically I like the girls. I don't like the guys in Cesteria. Lila. From Risa? Ah. Okay. He exists. Yeah, I agree with that, Brian. I like Rokuro. I like Aizen. I can't. I don't understand. I don't know about the kid though. Laffy. I don't know, man. I know he's cute and all, and you care about him. You care for him, but on the other hand, he's like wise. He's like the male loli. What's the male word for loli? Like Shota or something? He's like, come on, get this kid out of my fucking face. I mean Laffy the kid, not the brother. The actual Velvet brother, no. Laffy, the other Laffy. The party member, the actual character. And he does get a lot of development, But okay, he grows on you, I guess. I like everybody in Berseria. I don't dislike any character, any of the main characters. I like Eleanor. Nobody likes Eleanor. But man, if you play Berseria nowadays, she comes around. She's like the woke character that learns that wokeness is bad. Something like that, like blindly following an organization that's clearly evil. That pretends to be for the good of the people, it's bad and it's fucking evil, and Eleanor is that character, that learned, I don't know, that's my interpretation of the character, so I love her. I love Eleanor, and she's a redhead, what do you expect? It's no secret that I have a thing for blondies and redheads, but Velvet, she's black-haired, and oh my god, yeah, I don't have a preference, really. I don't really have a preference. Hair color. Sometimes I do things to make people cringe. Welcome to Erick Landon's Q&A live streams of every Sunday. That's what I do sometimes. Who's your favorite Tales of Vesperia character? Dude, we just talked about that like 2 minutes ago. Do you think Kemco is part of why there's been so many JRPGs between 8th and 9th generation? Yes, I agree. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't say a big part, but a part nonetheless. They did play a part in that. Versus for which song Eric should dance to each Q&A. Really? You want a versus episode on that? Seriously? I asked people if they want another versus episode, if they want the series to continue, and no one answered, so I guess that's my answer. Maggie Lou? I like Maggie Lou. Favorite brunette female character that's not Estelle Bright? How is Estelle Bright brunette? Isn't she... Well, I guess she has brown hair. But her hair kind of looks on the orange side of things. Probably because of her clothes. Maybe if she was wearing something else, something black, her hair would look actually brown. But because there's so much orange in her clothes, her hair looks like it's fucking orange. Or it's brown. What a question, man. Really? Velvet. Favorite blondie JRPG female character? Silmeria. Valkyrie profile. 1 and 2. Silmeria. She's my favorite blondie. Are there JRPGs you would like to see made into a fighting game similar to the Dissidia series? Yes and no. Yes, because I would like to see some JRPGs in a fighting game, but no, because I do not like Dissidia. I don't like those fighting games. I will rather see a Trails fighting game in 2D, not Dissidia style. No, thanks. I want to see a Tales game like that. There's a fighting game already on the PSP, but it's kind of lame. I want a proper 2D fighter in the style of King of Fighters or Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear with the Tales characters, That's what I want. And might as well throw in Fire Emblem. You know, a Fire Emblem fighting game, you know, also in 2D. I don't want fucking Super Smash or Dissidia or Tekken or Virtua Fighter. I don't want that, you know. I want 2D fighters. I like that. Is Tales of Exilia in your top 3 Tales games? Yes, it is, good sir. It is. It's basically my number 3. Up there with the second one. I've never been able to decide which one I like more. Exilia 1 or Exilia 2. Both of them are my number 3. Let's leave it at that. Who is your fucked able waifu in 2025? I don't know, man. Look, I'm 39 years old. I would rather have a real waifu. You know, I'm looking for one. Do you think silver hair is real in the real world like Chris Lightfellow? No, it isn't. That's only for old people. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's someone out there with gray hair and they're fucking 18 years old. I don't fucking know, but it's a generic thing exactly, you know. What? David? What are you trying to ask about Trails versus East? Have you played Guys? Yes, I have. It's a mediocre adventure game. The mini games are fun with Tifa, Lockhart, and Cloud, and Sephiroth, you know. Yeah, that's fun for a while, but it's not a great game. I'll stream it. I'm gonna stream that game on Twitch one of these days. Link to my Twitch channel in the description, guys. I stream twice a week. It's mostly Tuesdays and Fridays. Around 5 p.m. Central Time, right? And most of the time I do variety streams. I do stream the occasional standalone game, but most of my streams are like variety streams. Like I play a lot of games at once and I take requests, you know, if I have all of them. So, link to my Twitch channel in the description. I will do Guys. You should make a top 10 video on that topic. I already did that! Oh, the opposite, okay. Because I did a video called Top 10 Fighting Games based on JRPGs. I did that video many years ago. But JRPGs that should be fighting games? Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's gonna watch that. What setting you prefer, sci-fi or fantasy? I don't really have a preference. Nowadays, I think I like fantasy a bit more, because sci-fi is usually... they involve a lot of modern politics and bullshit, you know? But I'm fine with either. I have no preference. Okay, so you people know people with silver hair. Great. So that answers that person's question. Who was the person who asked that? Make a Smash game with own JRPG characters. I just said that I don't want a Super Smash Brothers game. I hate those games. East versus Trails in the Sky. I know that. I streamed that, David. You want a Persona 5 arena? Actually, me too. You're welcome, Narek. You're welcome. Well... How many times have you played through the Suikoden series? You're halfway through it? Okay. Probably 3 times. Yeah, let's see. The first one I beaten 3 times. The second one also 3 times. The third one... Have I beaten Suikoden 3 times? I don't know. 4, I've only beaten that game 2 times. 5, I've beaten 3 times as well. Tactics only once, Tear Cries only once, and Woven only once. But most of the main games I've been 3 times, so there you go. Which countries have the best mythologies? The Norse mythology. Interesting mythology. I wouldn't say the best, but just the most interesting mythology. I like it. I like that my country's mythology involves a lot of Indians and Aztecs and shit, but I'm more into the Mayans, you know? But Mayans were like across Latin America, not just Mexico. That's also really interesting. JRPG kart racing game. Really? Can't wait to see Velvet, you know, riding a kart. And Artorias in there, like, I'll fucking kill you! You know, if Artorias throws me a blue shell, I'll fucking kill you, Artorias! That would be funny. Somebody should make a hack of that. There's a fighting game based on Valkyrie Profile, you know. It's a fan-made game, but it's a fighting game. It exists. Valkyrie Profile, the fighting game. What game you want to get right now, but you cannot afford to get it currently? Ooh! Oh my god, yum yum. Let's begin with that. I could make a top 50 of that. Vanguard Bandits, PS1. Cartia, PS1. What else? Lunar 2 Eternal Blue, also PS1. What else is there, man? How about Art Tonelico 1 and 2 on PS2. Mana Kemia 2 on PS2. Raidu Kusunoha, the first one. I have the second one. I don't have the first one. Woo! I could go on. I could make a top 50 of that, man. Of JRPGs that I would like to own in my collection, and I can't because they're too fucking expensive. Did you ever beat any of the Front Mission games? Nope. Actually, Front Mission 1, the remake, is pretty good. It's also in the backlog. I will get to that. But I tried beating 3 on the PS1 years ago, and after like 10 hours, probably less, 8 hours or so, I abandoned it. I got tired, man. I don't like these, it's like Vagrant Story. I don't like this about, oh, destroy the arm, or the leg, or the back, or the head, or I fucking hate that. Just let me hit the enemy, and that's it. I don't need to break a specific part. I don't like that. Mexico mythology lore, it's outstandingly rich and complex. Yes, it is. And there's a lot of misinformation and false history around there. Kind of like the Yellowstone when that fucking bitch said that Christopher Columbus was evil because he destroyed the Indians, and her students were like, oh, she's got a point. No, she doesn't. She fucking doesn't. Taylor Sheridan shows, man. Fuck, that guy's half woke, half anti-woke. I don't get that guy. How is the Mexican gaming industry in terms of developers? Not a lot of support, as you can expect. Second or third world countries don't get a lot of support in anything artistic or creative, unfortunately. Shin Megami Tensei or Persona? Shin Megami Tensei for me. I prefer that. Great. I'm still not interested in ever finishing Front Mission 3. Don't tell me it's gonna be that one game. Another one of the game my audience insists on me beating, and no. Maybe I'll play the remake at some point, maybe, you know, and maybe I'll get into it. Because I never got into the original Front Mission. I played that game on the Nintendo DS. No, I couldn't get into it. But the remake was, I mean, it's just, there's something about the remake, you know, and that was great. Maybe I'll get into it. And it doesn't seem that specific. In the Front Mission remake, in the first one, you can also target enemy parts, but it isn't necessary to succeed. You can just attack whatever and the enemy dies, you know. Doesn't make it that much about that. For Front Mission 3, though, it is about that. Virtual Highlight, why is it calling my name? I'll never beat that fucking game. Fuck that piece of shit, man. It's trash. Which do you like, Digital Devil Saga or Shin Megami? It's the same thing. Digital Devil Saga is part of the Megami Tensei series. So I'm not sure I understand your question. Except Brazil, lots of Brazilian publishers. Oh yeah, you're right about that. Actually, not really. How many of them and what are they? And do people know them? All of the known publishers come from either USA, Canada, somewhere in Europe, Japan, South Korea, China, the end. Why is Suikoden 5 so rare? Limited run, bad sales. You're gonna have to rewatch a video that I did called What the Hell Happened to Suikoden to understand that, but basically all of the above. Also, because it was never released digital on PlayStation 3. Suikoden 4, Suikoden 3, 4, and Tactics, every single Suikoden game is on PlayStation 3, digital, all of them, not 5. That also increased its price, but it was basically all of that. Limited print run, bad sales, yep. I want your honest opinion on Tex-Mex. What's that? I can give you my honest opinion on Telmex. Fuck that company, man. Tex-Mex, the food? I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh yeah, I recognize this song. I was like, I know this song. I'm playing it. Currently playing through this game. So yeah, of course I recognize the song. Yeah. Oh, it's Americanized Mexican food. Oh, well, Anon, I do not live in the States, man. I live in Mexico, where the real Mexican food is produced. Yeah, so I couldn't give you my opinion on Tex-Mex. You know, I get the feeling I have a PS2 video coming up. Shouldn't have said that. It was supposed to be a surprise, but now you know. So now I'm not gonna say anything. Yes, it does, Brian. Real Mexican food uses a lot of spices. Yes, it's very spicy. And an excess of beans? A lot of food in Mexico don't really use beans, you know. Some of them to accompany the main dish, you know, but not really. Have you visited the States? Nope, never. Maybe I will. At some point, I don't know. I have been invited to a couple of shows as a guest. But since I don't have a visa, they told me, maybe next time. I was like, okay. Because they're not going to pay for the visa. They know I have to pay for the visa. And if they say no, the US government says I can't give you the visa, then I wasted my money because visas aren't cheap here in Mexico. They're like $200 or more, you know? So, I mean, they will probably pay for everything else, the plane, the flight, the hotel, you know? And maybe the meals. I don't know. Nah, I don't think so. Well, they will pay for that, you know, but they wouldn't pay for the visa. Guacamole is really good depending on who makes it. My dad makes a killer guacamole. Killer, absolutely fucking killer. The best fucking guacamole I've eaten in my life. My dad. My dad's the king of guacamole. Trump said he will change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Well, hopefully not. Will you ever stream The Lord of the Rings: The Third Age? Sure. I haven't. I've never streamed that. I don't know. I don't think I have, though. I don't think I've ever streamed The Third Age. I don't know. Maybe something can give me enough motivation to stream it one day. I don't know. Something that starts with an M. You know? Maybe that's what I need to stream The Third Age. I think so. Yeah. No, I haven't. I don't think I have. At some point years ago, I was going to stream that strategy RPG on PSP. Oh yeah! There is a strategy RPG based on The Lord of the Rings on the PSP. Motivation? No, it's another M. Other M? Nah, that's Metroid. No, it's not Metroid or motivation. It's another thing that starts with a little M. I don't know what it is though. I forgot. Did you see the Elon Musk Asmongold beef? No, I don't watch Asmongold. I think that guy, I mean, it's great that that guy is super famous and he's against wokeness and DEI and shit. I appreciate that, but I think he's also a grifter and a huge one. Madden? Maybe, you know. No. If you want him to play something, unless he absolutely will not play it. Do you think Square is gonna redeem itself? Nope, it's headed to oblivion, and I hope it fucking bankrupts. I hate Square Enix, man, you know that. If you had to choose one country to live the rest of your life in other than Mexico, which one will it be? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just whenever countries keep shifting between political parties, and then the laws change, and it's horrible, so I don't fucking know at this point. Years ago, I would have said Canada. I lived there, and I wanted to stay there. But nowadays, I'm like, I'm so fucking happy. Sorry if you guys are Canadian. I'm so fucking happy I didn't stay in Canada. But now I'm in Mexico. So I don't know. Maybe both sides suck. Nowadays, left sucks more. Way more. But there was a time when the right sucked way more. But nowadays, that's the problem, you see. This is one side starts to suck way more, and then the other one is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all the goodness. All the people are gonna be looking up to me. Yeah. I fight for the people. And then the scales turn, and it's the same fucking thing. Like, these guys are like, oh, the people are not gonna believe in me, and I have the power of the people. Yeah, fuck the government. Yeah, and then the scales go back, and oh, it's a never-ending story, dude. Yeah, let's all move to Greenland. Why? I mean, what the hell, man? Greenland. Trudeau is finally gone? No, he's not. He's still there. Aren't the elections in Canada until February? He's still there. I don't know that developer, man. I wish they will do JRPGs or RPGs, so they will reach out to me. Trudeau resigned? Sure. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. That's too good to be true. And we live in the era of misinformation. The Mexican president seems insane. Yes, she is. Very. We got someone worse, Tyson. AMLO is no longer the president. We got a fucking stupid-ass, crazy-ass bitch as a president now. Does it ever get cold where you are? Yeah. I'm wearing this. I mean, it's cold right now. I've been to Canada. I lived there for a year and a half. Don't you think I already know how cold Canada is? Nemo Propaganda, thanks a bunch for the super chat, man. He says, thank you for another year of great content. I'll start my Sundays with these streams. Ah, that's great, man. Thanks a bunch, dude. It will be another year of great content, regardless of what happens here on YouTube. Hopefully Trump and the craziest motherfucker ever, Elon Musk, will do something about YouTube. But if they don't, I'll still create content. I'll still be here bitching about politics and Square Enix and ranting about open world games and difficulty spikes and forced tutorials. And I'll keep doing top 10s and doing top 10s about collecting. I have one coming up. Dude, Trudeau resigned just a couple of weeks ago. Really? I need like 10 people telling me to believe that. Do you have plans on vacation? No, I have no money for that. I can't take a vacation anywhere except my own house, you know. I have something called mortgage to pay. Mortgage, that's my answer. No, gamer for life. I bought a new laptop about a month ago. It's kind of like in the middle, Intel Core i5, GeForce RTX 3050. That's what I could afford. And I'm happy, you know. I'm happy with it right now. To you, it's already Monday when the stream starts. Oh, because you're leaving the Philippines, right? Yeah, I think it's the next day already. Pick one to stream. Brave Fencer Musashi of the Lord of the Rings. The M will come soon after. Well, if the M will come soon after, you get to pick, man. Depending on the amount, I can do both. Because I have never streamed Brave Fencer Musashi on the PS1. I think I streamed the second one on PlayStation 2. Like, it's called Samurai Legend Musashi. That's an okay game. It's not bad, but it's not... I don't know. Do you like the Wonder Boy games? I've never finished one, but yeah, some of them. There was this one that got remade some years ago on Switch and PS4. That was kind of like... It's a Metroidvania. I like that game. It's a good game. But the Metroidvania aspects kind of killed it for me. I'm very, 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 very picky when it comes to Metroidvanias. I dislike most of them. But the original Monster Boy, Wonder Boy, you know, the ones that were like side-scrollers, you know, I like those. Trudeau resigned. So it's true? No. Trudeau said he will resign after a new leader of his Liberal Party is chosen, but that's from the BBC, another company full of lies. Canada's Rustin announces resignation. He will resign as leader of the ruling Liberal Party, but remain Prime Minister until a new leader... He's still there. Yeah, we don't need Trudeau to resign. We need the Liberal Party to resign. The whole Liberal Party. Otherwise, it's going to be the same. Look what happened to Mexico. There was this left-wing fucking imbecile, you know, as a president for 6 years. And now we got a new bitch from the same fucking party. So Trudeau resign? Good. I don't give a shit. Nothing's going to change. Onimusha is returning. Yeah, I know that. A lot of hipsters from America have moved to Mexico. Great. Awful. Is wrestling more popular in Mexico? Well, it's called Lucha Libre here. I don't think it's as popular as it was in the 90s, you know, but I think it's still kind of popular. Were you ever a fan of the Assassin's Creed series? Nope, and I'm glad I never became a fan. For obvious reasons. The PS2 Musashi game was Square Enix, yes, and the PS1 was Squaresoft. Same company, in a sense. Well, yeah. Do you ever watch Summer Game Fest? Nope. Never. I don't even know what that is. Isn't that the Steam Fest? I've never seen it before. Now that I have a new laptop, I can play Steam games, so maybe I'll care. Well, those fucking announcements, those on the Direct, they always show a lot of games that I don't give a fuck about. So. If the Kingdom Hearts series was rebooted, who will you choose to write it? No one, because fuck Disney, man. Fuck those guys. That shouldn't exist anymore. I don't have an opinion on the Assassin's Creed games from like 20 years ago, PS3 games. I think I played one, I was like, not for me, you know. No opinion. Yes, gamer for life, especially retarded. Especially evil. Yeah, if I was in charge of Square Enix, I would end Kingdom Hearts. No more Kingdom Hearts. Let your beard grow non-stop. Why? That's an interesting take on American politics, Anon. Do you like Golden Sun? Yeah, but I don't love it. I played the first game a long time ago and I ditched it after like several hours because I got so fed up with the puzzles and the random encounters. But I like the series, I like the pixel art, the music. They're good games, you know. The Lost Age seemed better in some areas. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know about that, Ryan. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, Golden Sun games are good. I don't have anything to say, anything like hateful to say about them. Like, oh, this is trash, or this. The most annoying thing though about them is the puzzles. Will you ever go clean shaven? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll show up in one of my Q&As completely shaven. And the whole stream is gonna be people asking questions about that. Okay, thank you, Shinji. You got it, man. I'll do Brave Fencer Musashi and The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. That's a really hard game, man. Wait, I'll be fine for the first 2 hours. Me and my brother, we played the shit out of that game, The Third Age, many years ago, and we never made it past the 2 towers scene. There's a battle in there, and it's like several battles in a row, and then a minor boss fight, and then a major boss fight. All of these without being able to save. That's like 20 hours into the game. That's fucking brutal, man. We never made it past that. And since my brother gave up... Oh yeah, that game has cooperative gameplay. In case you guys didn't know, it has. But we never made it past that part. And we were like, fuck this. So he quit, and I was like, dude, so I'm supposed to keep going by myself. So, the magic was kind of lost. The enthusiasm, the motivation. But maybe that's a game I can come back to one day. I'll stream both games, man. Thanks for the donation, the super chat. I will. You got them. Will you? When? I have Wednesday and Thursday next week already occupied by 2 specific JRPGs. So maybe I can do either of those games Monday or Saturday. Monday means tomorrow. Okay, let me see. But I'll stream them. I'll be... Yeah, you weren't pressing the other one. What was it, like Vagrant Story? Will you ever go blonde and start calling everyone Brody? Okay, I just thought very hard about it, and the answer is no. Thank you, Kevin King. Do you think we get a Suikoden 6, and do you want one? By Konami? I don't know. I don't know, man. Some part of me says yes, but the other part says no because of modern politics and how modern games are handled nowadays. I don't think so. I don't know. Why did you ask me that? I don't know. I don't think I do. I don't even know if I want a Eiyuden Chronicle 2. If it's gonna be published by 505 Games again? Fuck no. Please, Rabbit and Bear Studios, please find a better publisher. A non-political publisher, please. And then, yes, I want a Eiyuden Chronicles. A Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes 2. With a fucking a non-political publisher. And if I want a Suikoden 6, okay, yeah, sure, I want a Suikoden 6, as long as it's not published by... Just Konami. Look what happened with Silent Hill 2 Remake, man. I don't know, I think the answer is no, I don't want another Suikoden 6. Do you like when JRPG franchises have ongoing continuous storylines, or when they have self-contained one-shot plots with an individual game? Actually, I prefer that. The second one. I prefer each game to be standalone, kind of like the Vanillaware games. I do like series, I'm a big fan of several series, Suikoden, Fire Emblem, Shin Megami Tensei. But, man, I think nowadays I prefer a standalone story. But I'm fine with both. I'm not, against one or the other. Did you ever find that your love for JRPGs diminished when you had to play them for work and it was no longer just a hobby? No, man, on the exact opposite. Since this became my job, my passion and my love kind of increased. Do you think developers like Atlus selling themselves to other companies ruins them? Yes. Was a Eiyuden Chronicle woke? Yeah, I kind of was, because number one, Marisa was never supposed to be a main character, and once 505 Games got involved, they basically told the developers, Marisa needs to be a main character. So that's wokeness. But apart from that, no, not really. It was just the translation. They added some stupid comments that make no sense. They altered the translation. That was 505 Games. 505 Games made the game woke, but the game was never woke to begin with. Do you watch anime? Yes, I do. I haven't watched an anime show in a long time, but I still do. What is your favorite evil organization in a JRPG? I don't know. I like the Ouroboros organization in Trails. I like that. It's a lot of mystery to it. But it's also like the Blacklist. The Blacklist, the show, is like with every game, they reveal something more. We learn more things about the organization, but also learn some more things that make it more confusing. And it's just, at this point, it's like, fuck it. I'm done. Rabbit and Bear stories with Kemco. I'd rather have them self-publish. Not Kemco. You're waiting for the day we randomly get a port or remaster of Eternal Poison? That game has a very interesting character called Reina that Atlus will probably alter for the sake of modern audiences, you know? Do you think true creativity has been lost for modern JRPGs? For most of them, yes. All they do is rip off other companies or previous classics, and storytelling seems to be like very censored and safe, you know? Yeah, I will say yes. Are you against mobile games? I'm not against them, I just don't like them. Have you played any JRPGs where the wokeness was kept at a bare minimum? A Eiyuden Chronicle. Valkyria Chronicles 4. What else? Trails into Reverie. Well, that was, I believe that's just a translation. Infinite Wealth. If you play the game in Japanese, I mean, with English subtitles, just the Japanese dub. Infinite Wealth. Yeah. I wish I could say Persona 3 Reload, but no. That's not what I will call bare minimum. Have you ever seen the dub of Ghost Stories? The anime is freaking hilarious. Ghost Stories. Do you know the name in Japanese? I think I've seen an anime called Ghost something, you know, a couple of them, but I don't remember, like, if that's the one that I watched. Not sure. Okay, can you give examples of games as great as Second Story are and that also have no political agenda? You mean games like Star Ocean 2? Or games like specifically the remake? Because Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, man. I played both of them, and no political bullshit in both, in either. Star Ocean 5 has censorship, but just dumb censorship, you know. They made the girl with pink hair, her panties are bigger in the North American release. That's the only censorship. Which is fucking stupid, because look at the girl with green hair. Look at her. That was fine, but not the pink hair girl. I mean, it's one of the stupidest censorship I've seen in my life, man. Super fucking stupid. Oh, people will still be able to look under her skirt. Let's make her panties bigger. Because it's too sexy for Western audiences. Oh, but the girl with green hair, no, she was fine. The chat just crashed again. Stop it, YouTube. I know you fucking hate me, but fuck you. You're playing Balatro? I don't know what that is. Yeah, Momo was a garbage character in my opinion in Eiyuden Chronicle. We'll never know how altered the original script was for her. For him, I mean. That's a guy. The strange thing about Momo is that he tells the protagonist that he's a guy. You know, I'm a guy. And I think 505 Games could have, made that character into something else, but no. Momo was like, I'm a guy, I just dress as a girl. Okay. I don't know what to think of that, to be honest. Persona 6 will be fine. I don't think it's gonna be fine, but if you say so. I don't know, that sounds like something I wouldn't be able to get into. Balatro? I'm not sure. A poker game and a roguelike? That's crazy, man. Two Kyo Games recently said that if their upcoming strategy RPG, the 100 Line Last Defense Academy, fails, they'll go bankrupt and retire. Well, I hope that game has no fucking agendas. Because if it does, it will fail. And I hope they go bankrupt. But if it doesn't have any agendas, I'll probably play it and enjoy it and recommend it. And help the company to avoid bankruptcy. So that's it, everybody. That's the Q&A of today. Thank you very much for the super chats. I'll be back live with probably the Third Age or Brave Fencer Musashi soon. Okay, thank you for watching, everybody. Take care, have a great weekend, and see you next time.